Alice, you are watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channel networks. I'm here in the armpit of the San Gabriel Valley. That gentleman out there is,
Rick Levy in the San Pasquale Valley.
yeah, okay. So, Rick and I got to say, we have really enjoyed ourselves discovering more about this mezcal. It's called Mezcal Popol Vuh. And we flipped over the quality and the brightness of the Espadin. They sent us Espadin and they sent us the Tobala. And this is what we're going to be tasting and dissecting this afternoon, this evening. Take a look at I don't know if you can see that on my end. My lighting right now is not the greatest, but they have the actual logo kind of like emblazoned on this is a wooden knob, I think. The knob is wood, but the cork is synthetic. And for those of you who maybe aren't following them on Instagram or don't know much about the brand, I believe right now it's Mexico only. And if you look at these bottles, Rick, show them your bottle. This sample was held in a secure area in a customs room for about a couple of weeks before it was released to us. But they moved heaven and earth to get these. Gonzalo Hernandez and Casa Mezcal Popol Vuh made this happen. There's the story of what Popol Vuh is. If you haven't watched the Espadin review, we'll explain it to you. We'll give you the quick summary in a second. But this is a 42 ABV. I am going to pour mine in my Stazzo Jarrito. We're going to taste the juice first, and then we're going to tell you all the ins and outs. And where you can find more information between the Espadin review and this one. For some reason, our Espadins did not have. Look at Rick.
There it is.
There it is. Rick he got the shivers. Oh, look at him pour. That was a hard pour, man. Right
Man,
there.
we've been chatting off camera so long, and I've just been dying to get back into the juice.
Yeah, it's
man, the Espadin was just so good.
Well, we found out the Espadin didn't have the QR code seal, as I mentioned on that review. For some reason, it was missing, and I thought maybe it was being hidden behind all the medals that they had acquired for the Espadin. But it's right here on this one. So off camera, we snapped the tag. We got all kinds of information. Holy cow. By the way, for those of you who are new to Mezcal, if you are at the store and you see this QR code and you have a good QR code reader, snap that tag. What it does, it takes you to the Consejo Regulador de Mezcal. It is their version of a gnome list, and it's all, sometimes the information that you have there is minimal. Sometimes it's more than you're looking for. More than what's on the label. It even gave us the name of the Maestro Mezcalero. And oh my gosh. Wow. Look at that. Look at that picture. That's the Tahona.
Tahona.
Yeah, baby. There's a
Machete Tahona.
Yeah. Show the picture of the Maestro Mezcalero. He didn't look too happy to have his picture taken, but yeah, that's the gentleman, and I have to read his name because he's got, this is very rustic, that the distillery, the palenque that he has. Let me get into his name because, oh, I lost it. There we go. And
wooden fermentation vats.
Wooden fermentation tanks. Obviously, they're using fibers with the fermentation. They are. Now I lost it completely. Oh no, here it is. Open the website. So, if you're familiar with the QR code and the information that you get, look at those. Look at that copper pot still. It's wooden. It's a wood burning pot still or copper still. The stuff is amazing that they're coming up with. It is bottled and fermented, bottled and produced at the same palenque Yeah, the pictures are beautiful, and I believe that they may also be on their Instagram. So if you're not familiar with that, alambique de caldera de cobre con montera de cobre. It's copper, baby, and it tells you where the plants are coming from. You get the satellite GPS. It's really a lot of information. They're using either the Taona, Molino Chileno, excuse me, or Egipcio. So it's either a shredder or Taona. But this gentleman's using a Taona. It looks almost exclusively, because I don't think there's any room for a shredder in there. I think the shredding is the machete. I think that's the shredder. But it's beautiful information. The name of the empresa is Ausencio León Ruiz y Sucesores. I think he is also he's also the producer, is what it says here. So it's Ausencio León Ruiz, Don Ausencio, and that's the gentleman whose picture we took. Get yourself a good QR code reader, and if you're not familiar with it, or if they're not giving you too much information, or if you can't, for those of you who are Hispanically impaired and can't read it, anything in Spanish, but at least you get a lot more information. The pictures tell it all. And I got to say that it's as bright and beautiful as the Espadin. And the Tobala, of course, is a different plant. I believe it takes a little bit longer to go to maturity. And you saw Rick's pour. He got plenty of bubbles, and you know how I love bubbles. Oh, look at the legs and tears on this one. Wow. Wow, there is some. It's rich. What's funny is that with the Espadin, what I discovered was that the more that at every pass, it's almost like it coated the underlying smoke, because there wasn't hardly any smoke at all, if at all.
Yeah, how are they roasting it in a pit with this little smoke?
I don't know. The hand of the maker makes a big difference, and I think fermenting with the fibers also makes a big difference, because it just adds more flavor to the mix, to the mash. Now this one's a bit more woodsier. It's not there's a level of heaviness, whereas the Espadin was just bright. It was like, I'm happy to be here. This one's a little bit more mature. It's happy, but it's mature.
There's other Tobalas that we've had that I thought were more flowery.
Yeah, and that's kind of. I thought we were leading in that direction, but and we've had Espadins that were a bit more floral, but the Espadin was straight fruit, bright fruit. But there's a level of maturity in the nose that we didn't get from the Espadin. It's like I said, the Espadin was just bright, just happy to be here. This one's got a little bit more maturity to it. And it's got, the other thing too, it's only 42 ABV, but I'm getting a bit more alcohol. And we just broke the seal on these. These they've been in my office for at least, a week and a half, maybe longer. And so we just haven't had a chance to break the seal open. But yeah, there's a for me, I don't know if you're getting it, but there's much more noticeable alcohol. Not a bad thing.
It's more noticeable than in the Espadin, but it's not it doesn't turn me off at all.
No, you're supposed to have it. I know that's a big deal about getting rid of the alcohol. When you're talking about agave spirits, the alcohol is part of the nose and the flavor profile, because if it's done correctly, it presents the elements instead of blocks it. Oh, let's dive in, man. I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah. Oh.
I thought I preferred Espadin over Tobala in general, but man, oh boy, this is something else.
This one has that hardiness, that maturity. There's like more of the woodsiness. the fibrousness of the older plant, the different plant. Don't get me wrong; it's still bright, but it's not dominant like it was in the Espadin. This has a layer of. Let's put it this way: the Espadin is the wild horse, and then the Tobala is the horse that's now been tamed, can ride a saddle, and makes you look good. Okay, that's that. I love this. This is
Yeah,
you're
there's a
right.
lot to show on here.
Yeah, we've had brighter Tobalas between Rick and myself at the same ABV from other producers, other makers, and other brands. But I love this one. Wow. This reminds me also. Alex and I did a trio of Raicias from a particular maker, and this Raicilla was completely different from what we've ever had it as Raicillas, and this one's got. It reminds me of the Raicilla because that particular brand had a butteriness and a creaminess. I'm getting like a creaminess. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, absolutely. This is creamy.
It's buttery. It's creamy. It's really full bodied.
Yeah. I want to say it's like candy, but it's not sweet. It's just that there's, oh, what a treat.
I don't even need to do a harsh retronasal.
I'm getting more of that woodiness now too. I'm picking up on that note. Oh,
this is delightful.
Oh my God!
What a finish! Nice finish. There's not so much pepperiness as there is the fibrousness. It's sweet. I mean, there is a sweet part of it. I can't detect any smoke.
No.
The Raicilla was the same kind of thing because we had a picture of the maker, and he looked like a moonshiner. But the Raicilla was so much more elegant. It's so much more. It has so much character that it the maker. It's like they don't jive. You wouldn't think that a person that looks like these makers do have the finesse to come up with something so beautiful. But
that's elegant.
It's elegant. We said the same thing about the Raicilla. This is an elegant sipper. It's like luxury. It's luxurious.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm floored.
I'm blown away.
Yeah. Again, you saw some of the pictures that Rick put up on his camera. Those are probably on their Instagram if you follow them at all. I believe that they're Mexico only and maybe looking to come into the States. They may have been in Europe because the Espadin was loaded with metals. They had won so much hardware internationally. Take a look at that. And so they're probably really big in Europe, maybe big in France. The European market gets craft. They understand it. They know what it's like. But this one, you guys, Casa Popol needs to don't keep this a secret. Bring it into the States because this is gorgeous. You found a price on at Old Town for the Espadin. Do they have a price at all for this?
They don't have the Tobala.
Wow. Well, here's something that Zach at Old Town doesn't have. Wow, that is just beautiful. Holy moly.
I don't know what the pricing's going to come in at, but this is like $100 bottle.
And you know what? Worth every penny. Worth it. It's just, it's interesting and it's kind of bittersweet together when you see these just literally craft distillates coming out of Mexico from makers that you've never heard of before. Brand new Sotols and Raicillas and even this, and the pricing is so reasonable when in your heart, in your gut, and in your palate that you would pay twice as much to get this kind of quality. And I wouldn't be opposed, even if it's coming in at 42. You know what? I'd love to see this come in at higher. Can you imagine what it would be like at 45?
Oh my God, I'd melt.
Wow. You almost shivered and fell back into your wine cellar.
My eyes are rolling back in my head. It's so good.
Oh my goodness. Mm.
Yeah, well,
a luxurious.
Give this all the medals.
Yeah, we're going to give them ours. Brand of Promise nominee in the Tobala category at 42 ABV is if I can break it down even further, I will. I usually do. This is gorgeous. Now, if you folks are watching us on YouTube or listening to us on the podcast, and you've had it, you've been to Mexico, you've been to Quintana Roo or something, and you've had this, tell us what you think and what you paid for it. I'd love to know what this kind of bottle goes for, because it is, like you said, it's $100 sipper. And, even if you see it at $70, it's worth every penny. It's worth every penny. That's just gorgeous. And and if you have a good QR code reader and you see this at the stores, snap that tag, wait till you see the pictures. It tells you everything you need to know. And even if you can't speak Spanish or read it, you take a look at that and you know your mezcals, that's the deal right there.
It's a website. Google will translate it for you.
Yeah, that's right. It's a website, so Google will translate it. And Google's better at the translation these days, because when we do our books and stuff, I have to fact check on not only Google, but I have two other translators and dictionaries that I look at when I do the editing for our profiles books. But Google's getting better, so it doesn't sound like somebody who's not educated talking to you. But hey, that's our take on Mezcal Popol Vuh, which is by the way, just for your education, very quickly, the Popol Vuh is the book of the Mayan. Apparently, it's the text recounting the mythology and the history of the Quiche people, one of the Mayan peoples who inhabit Guatemala, the highlands, Mexican Chiapas, Campeche, Quintana Roo, which of course is Cancun, and areas of Belize. So these are Mayan people, and that's what this represents. It's kind of like some people like to refer it as the Mayan Book of the Dead, but I don't think that is actually accurate. But hey, go find it, go get it. That's our take. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That gentleman with the fast
ear-to-ear grin.
Yeah, the ear-to-ear grin is
Rick Levy in Southerner California.
Southerner, yeah, he's in San Diego County. I'm up here in the armpit. And you've been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Give us a like. And whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.